Hey there, I'm Emmanuel from If I Can, You Can, the channel where if I can do it, you can do it too. Now, this is a channel about real estate investing and home renovations, and today we're going to be talking about 5 hidden costs that will kill your budget. Now, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hit the little icon below to get notifications too, and if you want to see more of this or you want to hear me expand on anything, please leave it in the comments below. But let's get into it. All right, so let's get started with number 1, and that's going to be underestimating your costs. Now, this can come from several different areas. You could have permits you weren't expecting. Longer term projects may have higher holding costs because it's a long term, or let's say that the insurance costs more than you initially thought it would be. All these can add up. And particularly the ones that can really eat into your budget are unexpected repairs. At the surface, a wall can look like it's just fine, but then once you open it up and have to install insulation or move some stuff around, you can find out there's a lot more damage behind it, and that can really eat into your renovation budget. Or market costs for the materials. I saw when the pandemic hit and they had windows. The windows and lumber were just going through the roof at such a rapid pace that by the time I had my estimate at the beginning and how much I paid for it at the end was substantially different. And some ways you can combat this is to add in a buffer into your budget. It's not going to be for anything in particular except for your overruns. So you want about 10 to 20% over your budget just in case you run into these, because inevitably they will come up. Number 2 is going to be skipping inspection. I highly recommend for all the novices and people getting into it, do not waive inspections, do not skip the inspections. Now, they are pricey and they can start adding up if you look at multiple properties and go under contract with them, but they're well worth it to save you in the long run. Now, if you skip an inspection and a plumbing or electrical, foundation, mold issue, all these things can run into tens of thousands of dollars. And it's a real easy thing to extend your over budget super quickly. I was under contract on this one house and we were looking at it, it was about $200,000. And then we got into the basement and me, my contractor, everyone missed this big item where they had removed a portion of the basement to put in new PVC. Great job, yay! Bad thing is when they did that, they removed all the foundation elements that were holding up one side of the house. So to go in there and put in all the posts and secure it back up, I got a couple quotes. That came in at $25,000, about an eighth of the cost of the house itself. Now, obviously I took it back. I tried to show the owner, hey, look how much it is. Turns out they didn't want to believe it. They thought it was going to be $1,200 and we could not come to an agreement. So we came out of contract on that house. But these things can happen. So keep in mind, do your inspection and try to make sure you stick to your budget on what you do. Number 3, going with the lowest bidder. Now, I get it. You have a couple of quotes come in and you have some, contractors come in that say a little bit higher than you're comfortable with. And then you have this one super low offer and you thought you hit the deal of the century, but that's not always the best. And as the old adage goes, you get what you paid for sometimes. So you gotta be wary of those really low ball offers because they sometimes will do subpar work, which will end up having to redo and it costs you twice as much to do it now. Also, when you look at materials too, you look at the price of, for example, carpet versus LVP. Now, carpet by far is gonna be cheaper when you go with a builder grade material. LVP is a little bit more expensive, more labor intensive to install it, but when you look at the long term, if you're doing a long-term rental, the carpet's gonna have to get replaced way more often than LVP is. So you may have to pay that cost 2, 3, 4 times during the life of the time you have that house and using it as a rental, versus the LVP where it's a once and done thing. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the lowest offer or the lowest budget item that you're looking for your renovation. Okay, now number 4 is constantly changing the plans once the renovation is underway. Now, you need to pick a plan and stick with that overall plan. And When I talk about that, I don't mean that there aren't going to be changes and you're not going to have to make decisions along the way. Sure enough, like I said, when you open up the wall, you may find there's more things and move around the budget a little bit, from maybe not as nice as countertops into fixing the wall because there's mold damage behind it, whatever it is. But if you're constantly making different plans and changing it, where you wanted tile, but now you want, the LVP, or you want different color paint, and you want all that stuff needs to be done before the contractor comes in and does it, because they're going to have change orders. It's going to cost you a lot more money afterwards. Now, 9 times out of 10, they'll do it happily because they're going to charge you a lot more, but it's going to absolutely kill your budget. There's one lady I know that she was renovating her own house, and she came in there, bought the material that she thought she liked, had it put up, decided she didn't like it, had it torn down, had it another material put up another way, had that torn down. She did this 3 to 4 times, and had she just sat down, went to a showroom, kind of looked at it, talked to anybody else, she may have saved herself a substantial amount of money. But they didn't do that. That way, that plan that they failed to adhere to cost them a lot of money because they kept on changing their minds. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these plans and when you're going through with a project. And number 5, that's going to be over improving your property. Now, you want to make things a little bit nicer so you can get a bigger ARV, or that's after repair value, once you repair property, if you're going that route. But if you over repair it for the area it's in, you're not going to make that money back. If you go in there and you install a $500,000 swimming pool in the back of a property that's $100,000, it's not magically $600,000. You're never going to get that money back, and you're going to really hurt yourself in the long run. The same thing can be done on the inside too. If you put marble cabinets or marble countertops into a property that's only worth $80,000, you're just throwing that money down the drain. You have to build to what the neighborhood and where it's going to be at. If it's an up and coming neighborhood, maybe you can put some nicer fixtures in there. But if you see that it's a working class area or something that isn't really calling out for those high-end fixtures, please keep your budget in mind and keep the area in mind that you're building for. And that's all I have on my list of the 5 things that will kill your budget. Now, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification icon, or leave me comments. If I forgot something and you want to hear more about it, let me know in the comments below. But for right now, that's all I have, and I'll see you in the next one.